I hope you're surviving the apocalypse out there and here or wherever in hell we are. So I'm seeing a layered onion here of our future unfolding in a really unique way that if you're in the modern world, you might not be so prepared for. And if you want to step into the new earth in a whole self kind of way, I recommend you continue to listen. So, Amazing Grace, the lyrics are important to this message, so I'm going to read them. It's very short. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. So, guys, beautiful cohabitants of this strange, awkward planet that we live on. I'm seeing a time frame, Christmas. What does it mean? I don't know. Jingle bells, okay? But I'm recording this in June, and I'm seeing something about Christmas, and I'm seeing a need to talk about how we're going to step into this new earth, and the important for those who prepare and think ahead and strategize and co-create with each other, work together as a team and not as an enemy, and not fighting one another about everything that makes us different. Excuse me. But rather focus on what makes us whole. So I feel like the pressure is on. You're either awake or you're dead asleep. And if you're dead asleep, you're not going to listen to this message. So that's fine, because I'm not talking to you anyway. But people that are awake and aware and present and ready for the material, there is a time that is going to take a tremendous amount of courage within our spirits to endure this trial, this feeling we're going to have all around us. We need to create a separate energetic field, not one fueled in gossip and bickering and hateful. I know this, you know that, you don't know shit, I know everything. Just all these low ball jabs, like all these like fight words aren't helping anything. We're literally fighting each other for what? Did you just wake up and want to fight? Like, that's how you're functioning? If that's how you're functioning, that's called PTSD, fight or flight response. And if you're in your fight or flight response, we need to identify why. So, my beautiful, lovely souls, there's a lesson that we're being taught and trained and prepped for this time of the unknown. That time of reflection is upon us to really identify what it is we are frustrated with. We are frustrated that we've been sold a lie. We've been programmed to believe a false sense of reality. If you're in the modern, whatever this world is, where I'm at, where I got a nice table and a shower, it's not real. It's a creation. We're very attached, okay, to the concept that this will always be here, that we've developed an arrogance and a sense of denial as to our participation in the issue. So since I'm not doing this for likes and I'm doing this for love and I'm doing this for truth, I'm gonna say what's real, and I'm not going to feed what you want to hear, even though I love you and I love myself and I love tarot and I love that doesn't matter. So I want to share a message that we get to a point where we say, all right, I'm content with this life. I could live like this. I could spend this many hours doing that thing I don't like while I get this much cushion in my prism. I tripped on that word because I saw realities trapping us in a prism of light. And we're believing so much so that has us trapped in three-dimensional reality. And the more that we fuel the beast system of 3D space being an acceptable dimension of fear and material consumerism, we deny the truths of everything else. The ability to be in the middle of a war zone and put a flower in the gun, cast whatever the thing is on the side of the gun that has a hole, to put a flower in there is critical. It's a sense of peace within that nothing can take from you. Developing that type of strength is the armor needed right now, because the type of battle that is at our doorstep is so freaking real that it's going to materialize, express itself physically as well, because we're fighting a spiritual battle. And as we see the progression of aggression and rage and anger and greed and lust turn itself into this brute, massive force of energy attacking the world, it's a time to acknowledge reality and identify where the source of all this new modern labels originate from, like anxiety, depression, and all that, like mental health. Because I can guarantee you there are people in tents with their children with rags on their backs, with barely any water. And I'm not talking about, just a tent or two. We're talking millions of people on our planet, right? And worse, I literally just ordered Amazon. So please know I'm talking to myself as well. We are confirming that the way that we are going is acceptable. So it is manifesting because we believe it. And anytime you cast out anything, you're sending out a frequency that says this is gonna return to me in some sort of way. And I'm seeing it come full circle. We are going to have to leave our comfort zone. And I'm trying to say that gently, because if I say it directly, it's gonna offend people. So I'm just gonna abstractly express what I'm seeing. Spirit is providing us with mana. There's this like energetic food, substance, fuel that navigates us through times that we can't quite get through because it's too murky-ish, like something's blocking the way. And if we could put down things that we don't need and pick up what we do need, I'm literally like seeing our shields and battle attire and weapons and all that. We could fight this battle properly like the spiritual warriors that we are. So why is this important? Because I'm trying to share a message of preparedness. Like, let's be prepared. Like 10 years ago, when I frantically began to have a spiritual awakening, crisis, mental explosion, downfall, apocalyptic ending, okay, I've refined my skills a little bit that says, okay, what can you control? Well, you can be prepared for what's coming. And I want to say we're not on the side of luck this time. I'm seeing a nation of people denying their hand in the game. And it doesn't mean, oh my gosh, doom and gloom. Oh my gosh, you're so negative. It's not about that. It's about recognizing where you are positioned. How are you contributing to the destruction? Or how are you contributing to the reconstruction? Because the new earth is coming. What does that mean? Does that mean we're just gonna gummy bears and raindrops, rainbow sugar raindrops? What the fuck is that song? Candy raindrops. I don't know. Are we gonna just like friendship till the end across the finish line? Or are we gonna get real? Are we gonna get real? Because it's gonna require community no matter what. We're gonna have to work together. This is like that time in gym or school when they make you work with people. Like, no matter how much you don't want to show up, you gotta show up and work as a team. You gotta stop picking fights with everyone. Like, why are we fighting about race, guys? This is so dumb. Dumb, absolutely dumb. It does not help. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the world. What can you control right now? We can't be sending hate out. And the fact people are so defensive is because, like I said, we've activated a PTSD. We're literally in survival mode. And in survival mode, there's a lot that freeze and deny anything's happening. They're just frozen in a time and space. That's their little comfort zone. And that's where they're remaining. Because apparently I can't do this, make a square. And then there's those that are like fighters who are just like out picking fights with every single person they can. And there's runners who have literally scurried off and ran away, and they're just like not participating, only saving themselves, whatever. There's a lot of ways that we're all reacting to this abuse. It's reactive abuse. You're experiencing abuse. Did you hear that? Activated. That's the veil, is the amount of abuse hidden behind the comforts. Use and abuse, provide comforts, steal a few people for human trafficking along the way. Like, we've been farmed. We've been farmed. We are cattle on a farm. This is the vices. We're indulged in our vices because we're cattle on a farm. Not wild and free horses. But let me explain, if this makes any sense to anybody, because I see it clearly. Articulating it is questionable. But I hope for just a little bit you are slightly entertained, because apparently all people want to be now is just overly entertained. Fly, a period of ill health and depression. The Great Depression. This is as big as the Great Depression. They're training us through all of the wavelengths that they have access to, through all the social media. It's coming from both sides. This is a silent attack. Unsettled times need to plan ahead. Need to plan ahead. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm only uncomfortable because I'm holding back. I'm not uncomfortable because I don't know what I'm talking about, or because it's just because I know how crazy I am. Not I am, but like, I'm coming off to be. And I care about what other people think too much. So, if you didn't hear that, someone just blew a bomb, like a firework or whatever. Like, that was huge. Because, oh, and I feel it in my ribs. I just want people to know that it's time to prepare. What do I mean by prepare? I mean, get your spirit aligned to love, light, and truth. How do you do that? Well, you resist the world a little bit. You decide what's real and what's not by becoming discerning and adapting to the changes that are all around us, by getting uncomfortable outside of your comfort zone and turning off some of that social media stuff and what other people tell you about who you are, and reigniting and activating the truth within, the spiritual wisdoms that come from inside, because you activate your intuition when you stop being aligned with the narrative. Like, when people tell you what to do, like everyone always, like banks and just like society stuff, like social constructs in general, you've got to like turn all of that off. You're literally activating and deactivating different DNA sequences, and you cleanse yourself. You become an alchemist. You prepare with earth, air, fire, and water. You go get dirty in a lake and stop calling yourself dirty, and you like accept that it's very like cleansing. You drink lots of water and open your pathways, clear them out with lots of water. You detoxify. You stop feeding yourself toxic things, gossip, chemical in the foods, chemicals on your body, toxic relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, you turn away the toxins and you deny them. You deny them access to your body because that's the food they're feeding off of you. And when you stop feeding toxic parasitic energy, you become purified and cleansed, and you can enlighten yourself to reality, not matrix, not fake, not dream world, imagination, collective imagination. You go into your own imagination. And this makes you confident because you remember who you are. You go back to self. And then you connect yourself to all things. You realize you're a part of this oneness, this vast space of collective consciousness, beautiful, harmonious space. And realize that you don't need what you've been programmed to believe. And then you can step into the new earth. Right? Because the new earth is coming gently. To the earth, a hurricane and a tornado and a volcano eruption is like fine. Like, she's cool with it. It's a release for her. She's like, oh, finally, I feel so much better now that I blew the top off of that volcano. Like, that's how the earth feels with a volcano. We scurry and panic. That's the type of energy we need to get to. We need to get to Gaia consciousness. I see like an attack. Someone being tempted, and then someone turning. Look, I can't go too far into that because the moon is hiding something here. But I do feel that it is an important time to prepare spiritually for the battle that we're in, because when you have your armor, and in religion they call it like the armor of God, when you develop a strong sense of fearlessness / detachment, a healthy sense of detachment, and ability to not be so attached to everything that you see and know and feel and think and all that, you're a lot more capable of being prepared. I literally want to scream, are you entertained? And I know that's fucking crazy, but I feel like look, I feel like people just want to be entertained, and it makes me crazy because it's not about that. That's why we're here. That's why everyone wants to gossip, and that's why I got 10% battery, because it's almost the end of the day. We only want to gossip about dumb shh. We want to talk about famous people in Hollywood when they're the freaking projection of the idiotic, dumb shit we're doing down here. Sometimes I'm gonna have to cuss. I'm sorry. I got to fill the words because I don't have the range. So we are not capable collectively at this time. We need people to listen and hear the dialogue that's being spoken, not just about your desires. We need to identify where we are living in our desires, and then we need to know where reality is. Because you make your own little world, but you're also a part of the big world. And if you choose to like have a life and continue into the future, again, these labels, continue into the new earth, your frequency has to match reality. So, how do you prepare yourself? Breathing. Meditating. Being okay being without. Not being so concerned with things that don't really matter. Opening your eyes and not shutting them off. What do you see? Not just with your two eyes. What do you see? When you go buy that thing at the store or the food place, what do you see in the other person's eyes? Do you see love and connectivity? Or do you see shame and guilt and fear? Are we being authentic when we interact? 2929. Are we the yin to each other's yang? Or are we just living this polar, opposing, volatile, warlike, defensive, guarded existence? When you see someone else, do you see love or do you see hate? Rather, fear is what I meant to say. I think fear is the opposite of love. Do you want to see a world where your children or yourself or your family exists and grows up and experiences love or fear? And it's not to deny that fearful things exist, but it's about coming up with actual solutions as the fears present themselves to us and become obvious, and how to flow and interact with it and to become a container of love in a time of fear. Whether you're creating that space for yourself or for others, being a vessel of love is being a vessel of light, and it will guide you. It'll illuminate where you need to go. Be like how to be at peace with love and light. That's what I got. Look, I'm done. So goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Probably should watch that other part because I really think these two go together very well. I don't know what it's called because I'm floaty. So thank you so much. Bye.